If you are not yet a member of the Patreon, link is in the description. Please consider becoming a member, as you will have access to many videos you cannot find here on YouTube. So Dr. Umar is being targeted and they have frozen his bank accounts.
Y'all to listen up, I got a very important announcement. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th. Only to discover that I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So then I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. You have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG. Let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. That's when Medea went public. Everybody knows who Medea is. I believe Medea and Pastor were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. In the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If I find out Medea and Pastor C had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. Pay using my cell number. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. FDMG is coming. We just got to lay down on floors, brothers and sisters. Lay down on floors, and we applying for a certificate of occupancy.
I have questions. Dr. Umar, I know everybody is taking this opportunity to say that he's trying to scam people and that he's always been a scammer with the school that's never is going to get here, even though I was just watching the video yesterday of him giving a tour of the inside of the school, and the truth of the matter is that school looks beautiful. It's beautiful what it looks like he's doing, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably in the minority. I believe Dr. Umar's really trying to build that school, and I really believe that he's going to put it together. But I do find this timing a bit suspicious because what people won't give Dr. Umar credit for is that Dr. Umar makes himself extremely accessible in the sense that he goes on a lot of podcasts and he talks about a lot of the same things I talk about on this channel. The difference is, and not to downplay myself, I'm sitting behind the camera at home. He is out and about, moving and traveling all the time, and he talks about deep stuff. He'll talk about Satanism. He'll talk about the elites. For example, you was just talking about the Obama thing, and he was going after Obama and saying what Obama's real agenda was, and I praised him for it. And now his bank accounts are frozen. He does that now. In my opinion, I think he's a little bit too pro blackity black, and I don't mean to say that as if being pro black is bad. No, I think being pro your people, there's nothing wrong with being that as long as you're not anti other people, right, or trying to keep other people down. But my problem is sometimes with Dr. Umar that he just gives us too many passes simply because of a person's skin color. And I don't think that's right, because I don't think it's a black and white issue. I think it's a good and evil issue in this world. But I digress. The ultimate thing I want to get to here with Dr. Umar said, I just have some questions, man. And I'm not going to accuse you of trying to scam people, because in all honesty and fairness to him, he really hasn't asked people for money, so to speak, outside of school donations. People say, well, he could be using that money to do whatever he wants with it. I understand that. But in fairness to him, he hasn't personally asked people to send him money for him. Even though he could have easily done that, he could have created a YouTube channel a long time ago, and he's chosen not to do it. My understanding that he goes on a lot of podcasts for free. Some podcasts, I believe, he charges. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt. But this bank story is a bit suspicious, bro. I'm going to be honest. Here's some questions I have for you, Dr. Umar. And this is just with all due respect, man. The first question I have is, you're a very intelligent guy. It's hard. I used to work at a bank for almost 5 years. So I worked in the banking industry for a while. And if you are expecting me and anybody else to believe that all you had was a personal banking account, a business banking account, and that's it, you didn't have a bank account at another bank somewhere, you didn't have an emergency fund, you didn't have a savings account, you didn't have any money stashed away, and then you say you want to be able to get a few dollars for you and your queen, but respectfully, she ain't got no job, she don't have money put away. Like, again, everybody else is clowning on you and saying you're trying to scam people, bro. And some people even going as far to say that they don't understand how you can come out and ask other people for their money, especially when things are tight. Here's my problem, Dr. Umar. Some people know me, like you all know me for YouTube, because of YouTube. But other people know me because of my motivational speaking. I've spoken to thousands of people as a motivational speaker in real life. A lot of y'all don't know that about me. Well, most of you have only been following the podcast for probably the last year or two. So you probably definitely wouldn't know this about me. But in short, long story short, a few years ago, my story went viral because I was homeless, and then I graduated college in Arkansas, and then I shared how I was homeless and I almost died in a car accident, and the story went viral. And that's actually how I became a motivational speaker after the fact. But something happened during my time, right around the time I graduated college, right before the story went viral. I was getting ready to graduate college, and I was preparing to go to this conference, this national conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I was trying to raise funds. My professor and I was trying to raise funds, and I decided to do it by way of a GoFundMe. And so I was coupling my homeless story with this trip I was trying to make. Anyways, I've never asked anybody for money. I was very uncomfortable with doing it. And so I decided to create this GoFundMe. I printed out flyers, and I was putting flyers out different places across the city. And one person had a great idea. I played basketball a lot at the time, and they was like, hey, that's a great spot to go. You go to the gym a lot. It's a lot of older gentlemen that you play with. You never know what they have. They may have a few extra dollars to spare, or they may know somebody that do. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's right. I'm like 20, 21 years old. And I never forgot this. I put some flyers out in the gym, and then I go home. I end up coming into the gym maybe a couple of days later, and there's this older white guy that I've been playing with. I'm not going to say he's one of the closest people that I hoop with, but we were cordial. You know, we knew each other. And what he said to me, it always stuck with me because he was very rude. He was very disrespectful, but I knew he meant well. It's just the way he said it to me, it was very rude. I came in the gym and I realized that one of my flyers was sitting on the bench, on the bleachers. And I walked over, and the guy, the older guy, let's just call him Tom. Tom goes, hey man, he was like, I saw your flyer. What are you doing with that? And I didn't understand the question. I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing with it? And he was like, like I understand you were homeless. You know, I admired that you were able to pull yourself out of that, and kudos to you. He said, but what's with the flyer though? Like, what's the purpose of it? And I'm still confused. I'm like, well, I think it's pretty straightforward. Like, I'm trying to raise funds for this event that I'm trying to go to in a few weeks. And he said to me, he's like, look, man, maybe nobody's never told you this, but it's really not a good look. Don't ask other people for their money. He said, you don't know what they have to do to get their money, how hard they have to work for it. Respectfully, man, if you want to raise this money, raise it yourself. That would be my advice. I don't have a few dollars for you. He said, and you shouldn't live life expecting other people to give you stuff. And I remember he said, it hurt my feelings, 100%. It hurt my feelings. And I remember thinking to myself, like, but is that what I'm doing? I'm not trying to pity people and I felt so bad, bro. I was like 20 years old, 21, something like that. I ended up like getting my flyers and I just took it down off the internet. I just ended the whole campaign because I'm like, bro, I never thought about it. I didn't think people would see me like that. Like now I'm feeling like I'm a victim and I'm like, dang, I didn't think about it like that. I'm sharing this story to say, for Dr. Umar to go this far, to ask people to spare a few dollars to give to him, part of me understands. I'm like, well, maybe this dude really need the money. Why would you be asking people for a few extra dollars to get you by? But at the same time, I find it a bit suspicious. You didn't even name your bank. Like, at least name the bank so people can, like, they wouldn't be able to, like, it would be against regulations and the law for them to say if you have a bank account with them. But at least people will feel like it's a little bit more authentic, bro. I just feel like the way you're sharing this story is going to be very difficult for people to believe you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very difficult. So that's all I'm saying. I think it takes a lot to put yourself out there and to say that you're down and out on your luck. I mean, nobody's exempt from that. You know what I mean? That can happen to anybody. You know, a lot of people are, stretching it tight these days, and money's not in the best place for a lot of people in this country or this world right now, from my understanding, So even when it comes to my Patreon, like I'm not like the proudest that I have to charge people, but that type of content has to be placed behind a paywall. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. And at the end of the day, I do got bills to pay, especially since I'm doing this full time. But this is what's happening with Dr. Umar. Do y'all think he's scamming people? Do y'all think this is a bit suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Do y'all think that there's something more to this? Or do you really think he's in a tight spot and he really need a few dollars until his bank accounts get unfrozen? But I'll just tell you, working in the banking industry, I feel like if they froze your accounts, bro, like Dr. Umar should have at least 2 or 3 different forms of income by this point in time. He's a very intelligent guy. So it's just confusing to me. I'm not going to go as far to say I believe he's scamming people. I don't know that. But y'all in the comment section, y'all give me your thoughts, what y'all think, man. Hit the like button. As always, I'm Demetrius. I go by DD. That's all for this one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.